Should we start? Do you want to start or do you want to wait for you to start? Okay. Hi colleagues, my name is Noëlla. I know most of you, I think, not all of you actually. I'm the UNDP Youth GPS manager, so it's UNDP Youth GPS is the UNDP Youth Global Program here based in New York. We're in the Bureau for Policy and Program Support, organizing this event the day after the ECOSOC Youth Forum, 2 very intense days for all of us, and we thought that it would be a good opportunity to, discuss among colleagues from UNDP, from the field, but also from the UN here in HQ. Discuss in particular youth empowerment, our support to youth empowerment in the context of the SDGs, linking that also with the 2250 Security Council resolution on youth peace and security and other frameworks. So we have a great lineup of speakers, and we'll add as we go as well, because a great lineup of experts here in the room. So I will start first by giving the floor to Palki Ahmad from UNDP Bangladesh, who's our youth focal point in the country office, so that you can discuss, the comprehensive agenda that you guys are advancing, and we will continue then with Sherif Tokali from UNDP Egypt. We'll have Hana, who's from the UN Joint Program and also the UNICEF Innovation Labs in Kosovo. And also João here, who's joining from the Resident Coordinator's Office in Somalia, working as a youth advisor on also a very comprehensive and cross-bureau agenda. And we also have Kautar Zerwali here from the Arab Youth Leadership Program. We have tomorrow a closed meeting on that very program with Denmark, but we thought it would be great to also discuss it here today. Kautar is based in Amman. So, Palki, you have the floor.
30 seconds to just... Okay, good afternoon, everyone. I'll just stand. It's easier for me to... my name is Palki Ahmad. I am from UNDP Bangladesh, and I'm working as a youth coordinator there. And thanks to Noëlla and team for organizing this. I think it's a great honor for us to also highlight on some of the activities that we're doing in Bangladesh. So firstly, okay, so Bangladesh, we're a country of literally 160 million. The youth population, it's more than 47.6 million. So from now, what I know, the recent Bureau statistics, it's 50 million. We do have a lot of challenges, as most other countries do. Lack of employment, there's a 40% of the population that are not into employment. The youth, they are not really engaged in governance structures, so there's a lack of engagement there, and also in the social economy as well. So this is Bangladesh, but given Bangladesh's rich history, we still have a lot of vibrant young youth, passionate activists, and a lot of youth leaders in the country that are very, very active in the fields as well. So this is just a short scenario of Bangladesh. So the 2 things that I'm going to talk about is the UNDP Bangladesh Youth Strategy and some of the activities that we did in 2016. So the main overarching mission was to facilitate youth leadership through media initiatives and innovation. So everything is also revolving around the SDGs as well. And the strategy, which I'll be talking about just in a nutshell. So the UNDP Bangladesh Youth Strategy takes a cohesive kind of a youth agenda that supports the SDGs, as mentioned, supports youth programs across UNDP project clusters. So instead of having an ad hoc youth project, so youth is now being mainstreamed in all projects of UNDP. We have around 22 projects. And the strategy that we just developed is fairly recent, because this is one of the recent kind of phenomena, youth strategies that we're having at Bangladesh office. So it's pretty recent. And the main goals, outcomes of the strategy, of course, skills, agents of change, and voices. So we want to make sure that we can entrench skills through kind of entrepreneurship, civic engagement, participation, And then there's Agents of Change, where we want youth leaders to come and be engaged in the development processes, for them to be decision makers, for them to collaborate with other projects within UNDP Bangladesh as well, so that we get their voices as well. And speaking of voices, there's a lot of youth in rural areas who are digitally excluded, who are completely unheard and accounted for. So we want to make sure that the voices of Bangladeshi youth are well represented across all over. So these are some of the main outcomes that we're looking at for the youth strategy. And how we intend to do this, it is almost the same as any other youth strategy. So our strategy largely supports narratives of the UNDP Global Youth Strategy. This also supports the 7th five-year plan of the Government's People's Republic of Bangladesh, and also some of the international youth frameworks as well. So Agents of Change supporting leadership capacity. So making sure that the youth are equipped with leadership skills and knowledge to kind of be engaged in the broader context and social well-being as well. Mainstreaming youth, I would like to say that we want to focus on the media and innovative kind of aspects as well. Because now that media, our generation, we have more access to media. We're very well connected through social media platforms. We use media to connect to other people. We should also use media to kind of approach advocacy and outreach as well. So I think this is one of the main things that we want to stress on as well. And partnerships. Partnerships definitely with CSOs, intergovernment agencies, youth networks. It creates a multiplier effect. So, and the youth are really the bridge to other youth. So if we can collaborate with other youth organizations, and Bangladesh has at least 720 youth organizations very recently from stats, very small projects, very small organizations, but we also want to partner with them. They have a lot of volunteers in their sphere, so I think it's a great opportunity for us to kind of multiply that effect as well. So that's in the broader sense. Now, some of the things that we've been doing in 2016. This is called the Youth Campaign for Earthquake Preparedness that really focuses on SDG 11. The main purpose of this was to kind of get young innovators, creators, to come forward with some kind of a unique idea, creative idea for earthquake preparedness. So it can be anything that they want to really do. So they have the platform and the avenue to think out of the box. This is where we had 2 challenge funds, and as you can see, we've named it Youthquake, and Shake It was our hashtag, which went around all. Yeah, you gotta shake it. So yeah, the main purpose of this, again, like I said, to get young innovators to apply for these challenge funds that we had available for them. There were 2 kinds of challenge funds here. One was to create a smartphone app, which kind of causes traction in every household on how you reach messaging about earthquake preparedness. When, how, what do you do before and after or during an earthquake? So if you can bring out an app that can be easily accessible. And the second one was Cracks in the Campus. This challenge was to kind of design this kind of unique campaign in the university campuses. So how you reach out this messaging of earthquake preparedness in your university campuses, to your academia places, libraries, it was completely up to them on how they would be doing this. Just to show you a short video of how we kind of did the outreach, we collaborated with BBC Media, we collaborated with BD Youth, and also Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief, who was our partner in this. I don't know if the video is going to work, but we're going to try. my funny colleagues at UNDP Bangladesh. I had to use their brains to kind of outreach. So this was kind of the promo video that we did. Yeah, we kept all of this as well, just to get them going. So more on the campaign. Like I said, we collaborated with BD Youth. We had 30 youth ambassadors from different universities promoting the campaign for us. So, and then at the end, we had received 210 proposals. The main thing was that youth apply in teams, between 2 to 4 people in each team, and they come up with these unique ideas for either of the challenge funds. So that is 210 proposals from all across Bangladesh. That includes Sylhet, Chittagong, Khulna, all the engineering and all these architectural universities had applied for these challenge funds. And finally, we, after a rigorous kind of shortlisting process, we had come down to 10 teams as well. Yes, for the next one, these are some of the ideas that we got from the winning teams. We had ultimately 2 winning teams. One was an earthquake rescue game. If it's a game that you play on your app, just to know more about earthquake preparedness, you should go under the table. If you should be hiding behind a wall, it's through a game, just to keep people engaged. And also Titans, this was a bit ambitious, where you had healthcare providers, where you can easily access healthcare providers or other people that you need for help during an earthquake. It's just a click away. So this was one. The other one was Cracks in the Campus, which is to have virtual reality booths in the campuses to kind of give a feel of what it feels like to go through an earthquake. A lot of us don't really give much when an earthquake happens. We don't really, we panic, but we don't take the necessary preparations to give them a feel of what it's like. They had come up with virtual reality booths, and of course door-to-door kind of a drama and play. A person becomes a victim, and this person kind of shows what it's like to go through an earthquake, and also kind of disseminate messages on what you should be doing on earthquake preparedness. This is the second segment of the campaign. I thought one approach to bolstering civic engagement was to get the voices across. It's a part of our strategy as well. And radio is one of the most consistent media initiatives. People listen to the radio all the time. We have a few, Radio Furti, Radio Shadhin, to get radio to come in as well, to get access to information. So basically, this is a place where you can, ask questions, reflect, learn more about what's going on in the country, and it's not just for entertainment purposes. So you can use the radio to kind of promote awareness on SDGs as well. So this is the campaign that we did, audio documentaries to raise awareness. And there were 2 topics. One was the earthquake preparedness, of course. This is Radio Shadhin that we collaborated with. We had a lot of youth icons, we had government representatives, we had earthquake experts from UNDP and across external as well to come and talk about the importance of earthquake preparedness. We also had options where the broader community could engage with us as well through quizzes. So in this way, it's a participatory approach and also promotes engagement as well. So these are the 6 documentaries that we had in Bangladesh, and this is kind of shows the nutshell of the results on Facebook. And because radio is also coupled with social media, it's definitely easier for outreach and advocacy as well. So this one was on earthquake preparedness. And the second one was on Rise Up for Women, which is on SDG 5 and 16, to promote more just societies and inclusiveness, women empowerment. This came in the form of stories. So the audio documentaries were kind of like a storytelling basis, where women from diverse backgrounds come and talk about their struggles, talk about their associations with society, what struggles they face, and what is the solution, or what rights do women have actually. Women don't know in Bangladesh that you can actually reach out to the National Human Rights Commission and actually file a case or talk to them. Women don't know that. So again, through radio, we wanted to kind of engage with broader community. We had a lot of powerful female activists coming in to talk about what they went through. And it was wonderful just to see how the women talked about their stories. It has to hit home. So we wanted to do these audio documentaries in a very youth-savvy format as well, which is very easier for youth to understand and to engage in. The second, this was an event. It's called Rise Up for Women event. I mean, we're always talking about struggles, we're always talking about the pain that women are going through, but in Bangladesh we also wanted to celebrate women as well. So we wanted to get the creative forces of arts and music, and being a musician myself, I had to get the most remote folk musicians from the remote areas to come in and talk about women's rights. We celebrated that, you know, we have women's head in the police commission. We have a women cricketer now. We have these fantastic women activists are doing so much work for us. So this was kind of to celebrate. And we also had pledges. We had around 937 youth coming in from different universities. This was held in the University of Dhaka, one of the most popular, prestigious universities in the country. So live art, painting, music, musicians standing up for the cause and celebrating womanhood in Bangladesh. And also for Safe City, we had these pledges. So people would sign up on what changes they would like in the policies as well. So this was the gist of the Rise Up for Women event. With the pledges, we decide to take it to the National Human Rights Commission so that we can do something about the policy as well. So a lot of pledges, a lot of music, a lot of art, and this is a way to kind of connect to the broader community as well. And then we had, these are just, I'm going over through what we did in 2016. This was called the Digital Khichuri Challenge. This was part of the project called Preventing Violent Extremism. It's a part of the governance cluster, and this is where Edward Rees actually was the head of this kind of initiative. So it's a unique campaign to get, again, young people to come up and understand storytellers and advocates and everybody else, to understand, you know, what are the creative ideas that you can do for your country to kind of promote peace and diversity that Bangladesh is really famous for since 1971, since the war. So we had all, so Finalists Labs Facebook was a part of this initiative as well. We had 6 teams who came up with a bunch of ideas. One with a comic book of Bangladeshi kind of comic characters, which we don't really have. An online depression kind of a platform where people can come and connect and talk about depression. Bangladesh is a very closed country at some point. I mean, in the remote areas as well. I mean, people don't really get access to talk to other people, and the culture is also very close-minded. So we wanted to open that up a bit more. So we had to get all these young people who have no platform to really come up with their own idea on what they can do to promote peace and diversity. So this was the gist of what happened at Digital Khichuri Challenge. I'm going to run over this quickly because I know there's not much time. And of course, we had a UNV, United Nations Volunteer, and UNDP collaboration to have an online platform. Again, this is a one-stop shop where you have all youth content available for you to engage with. That's also beneficial for us because we also want to share inspirational stories of the youth through this online platform. And the other one, the YES campaign, is called Youth Employment Through Skills. This is again on coding. So teaching basic coding skills to some of the youth in the remote areas. And this was a 6 months training where 360 youth will be trained. This is going to be happening this year, basic coding skills, and then they market themselves to getting freelance jobs online. So we want to promote that as well. ICT is coming up, of course. We still have a long way to go, but the Ministry of the ICT, the Minister of ICT, he had shown a great interest to really promote digital Bangladesh. So that's those are some of the campaigns and activities that is going on at UNDP Bangladesh. And I strongly believe that youth leadership really happens today, and it's not about the future. We should start now. And I love saying one thing, that is, if you light one candle, you can light many more candles. So if you can empower one youth, that person is the bridge to other youth. So in that way, we can promote better skills and promote better leadership for our country. And of course, the Bangladeshi youth are extremely passionate. We want to do more. So that's the goal.
Thank you so much. I think that was absolutely wonderful, very inspiring, and I think we have a lot of great ideas already coming up from your presentation. Once you open the floor, I mean, if anyone would like to ask Palki any question before we move on to Egypt. Any questions, clarification? Yes.
Yes. Hi, I'm Heidi from UNV office in New York. I was just wondering about the UNDP online platform and YES campaign. in what sense did you use online volunteers or youth volunteers or just volunteers?
This is just an initiative that was just started, so it's going to be volunteers basically. Yeah, so volunteers.
Online, offline, on-site,
absolutely.
national, international.
Yes. I mean, not just international, but mainly focused on national volunteers because this is going to be in Bengali. So we want, I mean, because Bangla is the national language, we wanted that the online platform is Bengali and that, so the local volunteers come up and sign up for this, share their stories, and we do the same as well on whatever is happening at UNDP country office.
Great.
Yes.
Yeah, so my name is Anne. I'm from George Washington University. I'm a PhD student there. So my question is probably a bit more general, but I know that innovative, like using the media and internet is like a good way to reach out to youth.
Yeah.
But how much of the youth actually have access to all of this media and internet? And like, if they are more of a marginalized youth, like what is your strategy to reach out to them?
Yeah.
Because like also like I've done some projects and I realize that it's like the same pool of like youth coming again and again. So like what is your strategy to kind of reach out more?
No, the thing is that, yes, definitely you're right, that the urban youth have more access to the media initiatives and are more connected to the social media platforms. So that's why I chose radio, because it's a really widely consistent form of media. Everyone has access to radio. There are programs in the rural areas where adolescents get together just to listen to the radio for an hour to get access to information on what they should be doing, which is great. I also believe that the urban youth should connect with the rural youth as well. So kind of, youth from diverse backgrounds should get together, reach out to communities it's up to them how they want to. So it's different youth are from different areas of Bangladesh. They can choose their own specific area and reach out to them. So this is what I feel should be one of the strategies as well.
Yeah.
So yeah. Yes.
Hi, I'm Karen Feinberg with Feinberg Consulting, and we work on innovation, development, and social impact through a cross-sectoral lens.
Yeah.
And I'm affiliated with Harvard University, the Graduate School of Education specifically. And I'm wondering, like what we were talking about with the Kosovo Innovation Lab, how let's say, rich, if you will, is the coding project that you're doing industry-wise? Are there opportunities? Is it growing in terms of opportunities to code? And are you interested in possibly externships? Whether that be physical externships. I'm based in Boston, so it's a huge mecca of STEM fields, or even doing it remotely. So connecting with companies and what their needs are, and I'm wondering if that is of interest.
No, absolutely. Actually, this one is also a fairly recent project. So it just started. The 360 youth that will be trained this will happen this year. So the coding thing that happens is the Ministry of ICT is very, very interested. And actually the ministry is also doing a lot of projects, like they have, for 20,000 schools now have laptops and access to kind of, so the ministry is doing a lot. So that's why we are also collaborating with the ministry as well. And since it's the pilot project, we are also going to try with 360 Youth as first, just to see what happens. So UNDP is collaborating with Coders Trust, so that's an organization, that is dealing with the whole thing. And definitely there's a scope. I mean, once it kicks off, there is definitely a scope.
Thank you. I'm just mindful of time a little bit, so we will move on to UNDP Egypt in particular, because our colleague from Ahmad, from Egypt, and others will have to go on time at 1:30, so I want to make sure that we have enough time for them. So, Sherif.
Okay, how much time do I have?
You have as much time as you want. We can be flexible, like 10 minutes, 15 minutes. That's great.
Okay, thank you, Bangladesh, for the presentation. Really, it's very nice because I always have the experience of only A to I project in Bangladesh with Murshid and the teams. But now Murshid moved to another country.
That's right.
They visited us in 2005.
Excellent.
Okay, that way, let me tell you about our experience related to what we are doing with youth. We started what's called the ICT for Development program, established in 1998, where we have the 3 telecenters. Telecenter is like a cyber cafe, but putting in the NGOs, where we go bringing the youth and to train them and upgrading their skills. So mainly this is the ICT for Development program at that time, starting from 1998 until 2014, and this is the main objective of this, either to capacity building for the youth, in putting ICT labs in the schools, like we started with the smart schools, 38 schools, and then we rolled out in 3,000 schools with the World Economic Forum and 6 multinational companies, Microsoft, Oracle, Cisco, Intel, Computer Associate, and IBM. Then we have the infrastructure in the country, but also we found that there is need for this infrastructure. We need the second layer, which is the applications that you can having, and there is a lack of Arabic content at that time. So we developed what's called the Kinana Online. The Kinana Online is it's an Arabic portal, helping mainly helping the youth and the other community and the community on development information. So we started the establishment of this portal in 2002 with. At that time it was 2,000 hits every day, and now we are reaching more than 150 hits every day. 40% now is coming from Egypt, and 60% coming from the Arab region, because this is the Arabic content. So we're having then we move to specialized portals, SME portal, youth portal, and people with disability portal. Also, because we are tackling that, we have the illiteracy. We have a high rate of illiteracy in Egypt, so we have the telecenters around the country. As I told you, we started with 3 telecenters. Now we are reaching 1,500 telecenters in the country. So we developed what's a multimedia CD-ROM to teach the illiterate people how to read and write, and we are using this in the telecenters. So we build the capacity, and we are continue to building the capacity of the youth. But also we found that this. It's not only enough that to having, because I see that you want to talk about also lessons learned, so I'm just including also lessons learned. So we said that this is not enough, that also to build the capacity of the youth even, and leave them, or they're giving them training courses, or right. So the youth also need to identify how they can grow up, or how they can find, either they find job, how to start up, to do a startup. So then we decided to have a social innovation lab within the UNDP office. It's probably like the Kosovo lab and others. And the idea of this social innovation lab, that to bring to take the youth from the journey from ideation concept to up to startup, to have a startup company for him, and to build, to having opportunities for them. I will not go through, because mainly the challenge we are facing in Egypt, similar to the challenge my colleagues said also in Bangladesh, the high rate of unemployment. Youth in Egypt is around 50% of the population. So I will skip this because this is mainly what my colleague said. So we have a high rate of unemployment. We need to have a new innovative tools to empower the youth. So usually what we are doing with this social innovation hub, to have this social innovation camp using the human-centered design and the design thinking methodology, and bringing a development challenge, and then having a call for challenge, then youth join in and sign in, and they bring them in an innovation camp, and then we'll start having the solutions. Also, because while we are developing this, we said this is not enough, because if you are bringing a youth and doing an innovation camp for them, and then we give them how to ideate and how to find the solution, at the end he will come at the end of the innovation camp, then he have a solution or have an idea, but it's not enough. We need, that's why we have several agreements with several incubators in Egypt, that to bring them from the beginning with the social innovation camp. So with the social innovation camp, so whatever the idea is, the winner idea, they incubate it for 3 months within this incubator, and then to have to start their startup. Also, we found that this is not enough, because when they get out, graduated from the incubators, we found many of them really struggling between, because sometimes they have a very good technical idea, but not a very solid business idea, business skills. So now we are working with PricewaterhouseCoopers and other partners in Egypt to develop a coaching and mentorship program for the youth graduated from these incubators. This is some of the ideas of the camps we did it. It's like my colleagues in Bangladesh. It's reporting on violence against women. Other one, it's called the Innovating for Fayoum, and Fayoum we work with, we bring the youth, and because Fayoum is in the lake, it's Karun Lake in Egypt, and this lake is polluted, and several fishermen there, they have either losing their job, but the women there are working on peeling the shrimps, and they're getting the shrimps from all over Egypt, and they're peeling the shrimps. So we work with them and with the youth, and to find some solution for them. And this is how it will work versus this video. This is one of the teams. Okay, this is also work with people with disabilities and bringing them also with techies for also and youth and computer engineers, and working with them to develop some tools helping them during their life, or to help them to go to their jobs or to their work, or to help them. So they develop several things like mobile ramp, because in Egypt the streets is not equipped for the wheelchair. So they develop, for instance, a mobile ramp that to put it on the chair and going around, and when you need it to go, and then you just take it from the chair and put it. Others, they develop a mobile apps that whenever there is a need for mobile ramp, they just click on it. That's using the crowdsourcing. And then when there is a demand that this is area they need a mobile ramp, they go to the government, and the governor work also with them in civil society, and they build the ramp with the private sector, and the private sector put their advertising on this ramp, and the governor waived the advertising fees from the private sector because he built the ramp. So this is, and then now they are using the second phase for this mobile app that if a wheelchair person want to go from point A to point B, it's like Google Maps, he said, and then take them around where is the streets that he can use it. Also, we are working also with Emerson College in Engagement Lab in Boston, that they are working with us since 2014 on games for social change, and we develop with them also a games fellowship program for the youth, and now we are conducting these games. The idea of the games for social change, that also it's also using the human-centered design thinking, all of these things, and working with some of the challenges they are facing the country, and then develop some games. Maybe there is some ongoing games like raising the awareness about violence against women. There is another games for education now, and they have one of the the youth attending this camp. Now we have his startup, and actually I just heard now from the office today that we contracted him to develop a virtual reality game for raising the awareness of SDGs among the youth and the children. So and other they do games for entrepreneurship. It could be either digital game or could be a board game, just a board game and using and playing with it. This is mainly the result that this doing only for these innovation camps that we are doing, and we are trying. The idea now is not on conducting the innovation camp by ourselves. The idea is now is to train the trainers and our partner, and they develop, then they conducting this innovation camp, like what we did it with the games for social change. We are having the fellowship for 5 persons, and they did this workshop in Egypt, in Alexandria. We're supporting them to do this workshop. Also the design thinking we are working with, now we are having, within the next 2 months, we'll have the first train of the trainers workshop to train the NGOs, the civil society on how using the human-centered design and design thinking. Actually now we are talking here now also with the Behavior Insights team here in New York, that we are working with them also to inject the behavioral science within the human-centered design and design thinking. This is some of it. Also, in 2015, also we worked with Microsoft, and we have a partnership with Microsoft, and we developed what's called the Freelance Me portal. Here we have Omar with us, that the project of the project director of the Microsoft partnership with them, and we have the Freelance Me portal, where we're having a portal to promote the freelancer outside, because most of the jobs are always in the capital or around the capital. It's also we want to promote the freelancer jobs, especially for women and the girls that graduated from university, or they can do some online jobs. And this is some of the numbers that we reached till now. Also, we work also with Microsoft in 2012, and we developed another portal, and it's called Masr Ta'amal. Masr Ta'amal, it's or Masr Works. Ta'amal, it means works in English. So, and the idea of this portal to have some training materials and training courses for the youth, and we are using this portal, and we are having agreement with the Ministry of Youth that they are allowing us to work on 26 governorates in Egypt. On all the youth centers, they have more than 3,000 youth centers in Egypt, and they are allowing us to identify like 1 or 2 youth centers in each governorate, and we are working with them and train the youth also on IT skills and soft skills and entrepreneurship skills. That's why I said that in the beginning, before that, we are doing now a TOT training, so because we cannot serve all these people from the UNDP Innovation Lab. So what we are doing, we want to train also the operator and the manager of these youth centers on how to conduct an innovation camp or human-centered design camp, and ideation. We name it ideation, and how to develop ideation camp, because it's not only just having the training for them and building their capacity, just also they need capacity also for how they can turn their ideas to a product or a startup. Also, we started something also with one of our partners. It's called the Information Technology Institute, to bring the youth and working with big data, and to have several hackathons on the using of big data. We have 2 years ago, we have this hackathon also on big data and smart cities. We get the two of the winners. We took them after the 5 of the winners. We took them in incubator in Egypt, and then 2 of them at the end we do like a final evaluation for them. Then we took 2 of them to attend a Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. It's called, the side event is called 4 years from now. It's an entrepreneurship event for mobile apps. So they attended, and they are working for their startup company. We have several hackathons related to the agriculture also, and others. And we are working now with IDRC and ITI National Council of Women to have a data-driven innovation hubs within because in the National Council of Women we have this social innovation hubs, and Umnia, one of the graduates of this social innovation hub with with the mobile apps they develop, and now we want to have also the data-driven within one of the activities of the data-driven innovation hub. This is our partners that we are working with them. We work with UNDP, as you see, we are working with the government. Because why? Also, one thing that why we choose to have the innovation hub, the innovation lab within the UNDP office, because most of as UNDP or other UN organization, when we have a project, usually you have it with one entity in the government. The idea of having the innovation hub within the UNDP office to have the flexibility to depend on the development challenge to identify the partners. For instance, for the Fayoum, we choose the Ministry of Local Development, the NGO that working in Fayoum, and the private sector can help us also go there. So it depends on the challenge that we want to do it, or the woman violence against women, work with the National Council of Women and Vodafone. So also that's why it's giving us flexibility to work with others partners, not just only one partner that we work with them. That's it. Thank you.
Any reactions, questions? I will have some comments, but I will keep them for at the end.
Can you speak a little bit, and perhaps both of you a little bit, these programs are fantastic and like Noëlla said, very inspiring. I want to know how you, as UNDP, work to address the broader enabling environment, the policies, the national employment policies, the youth policies, to make entrepreneurship a more viable employment path. After all these young people go through trainings, so how do you deal with the national government and partners to promote that broader enabling environment?
For us, okay, the last national policy was in 2003. There's a recent one that is still yet to be published. So the NGOs, CSOs, all youth organizations had come together and had pointed this out. That we need more trainings, more employment opportunities for the young people. We need government to do more. So all of these kind of feedback and these reflections have been tried to be addressed. So, and I don't know if that answers your question, but yeah.
Okay, for us, usually with some of these ideas in the beginning, if you go to the government official and tell them that we want to have innovation camp, what is innovation camps and what these things will be about. But when we started, usually at the end, usually we start this innovation camp, and then at the end we ask one of the government officials to be part of the judges committee. So then he looks about the solution, about things. I can give you one example. Also, we have we work with the governor of Giza. It's Giza, the city in Egypt, where the pyramids, by the way, and UN Habitat and Faculty of Engineering in Egypt to do what's called the street challenge. It's a European street challenge. They do it every year, and we brought them. We work with them to have a street challenge for Giza. And I went to the governor and I asked him to also what areas that you want to redesign it, the streets you redesign. And we brought the youth from Faculty of Engineering. And we brought also others, and they allow us to go and do survey in this area, in one of the streets, and they redesign this area. And when at the end, the governor, when he attended, he really very surprised what the solutions come from the youth. And then at the end, he decided that he want the three winners work together and to develop one solution with him in his office, to come and work with him in his office to develop a solution. So usually you need to prove the concept first with the governor. The second example could be also from the work what we're doing with Microsoft. With the Ministry of Youth, we started with a small initiative with them in one of the youth centers in Cairo. And when he sees the impact and we see what's coming out from these trainings, then he decided that to open all the centers not all the centers, 1 or 2 centers in each governorate, and start working with them and having really a big program with the youth. Another one that we have this, they asked us, UNDP asked us to have a Games for Social Change workshop in last July here in UNDP before the high-level political forum. And by coincidence, I have the Minister of Social Solidarity with me, and I asked her to come and attend the workshop with us. Then when she attended and sees the Games for Social Change, then now we are requesting from the government to work on a game to raising the awareness of the drugs in Egypt, or to combat the drugs in Egypt. She told me we are trying everything and we are not very successful in this, so we need to have an innovative way to tackle this issue. So this is because we cannot come and tell them this is what we want. It's important. It's important to see them, to bring them, and to show to them how the youth can make real change.
For me, just to add one point, I think it's very, very important that soft skills, kind of a training are integrated in the education curriculum now. I mean, a lot of young people, they graduate from university and they just don't know, even when it comes to basic CV writing, communication skills. So I think these sort of soft skills should be integrated. We had also suggested that for the policy as well.
This is what we are doing with Masr Ta'amal, and that we're having this career advice for the youth, and we are training them. And we have also another program with the ITI to train the youth on the outsourcing, technology outsourcing, because Egypt, they have the outsourcing industry, so also we are training the youth on the outsourcing within the university while they are doing in the university.
Sorry, Jack from Restless Development. Two amazing presentations, really inspiring. Just quick question like sustainability. And so you've both got these amazing networks of talented, engaged young people. Is there plans after these projects to like build the capacity for these young people to then lead their own, like for them to set up their own social innovation hubs or their own campaigns on earthquake awareness and their own sort of fundraising ideas, so that in the end UNDP can take it back and it's led by these young people? I mean, that's obviously a long-term goal, but is there any sort of capacity building element to this afterwards?
For us, as I mentioned before, that the sustainability for us is to bring many partners with us, to have as many partners as we can with us, like the incubators in Egypt, like the civil society, the NGOs, and the other. This is the first one. And that's because they can do it by themselves after that. Whatever we are doing, they can do it, because there is no need to have this social innovation hub to do it in the UNDP, to do it every time the challenge. So that's why we're bringing the NGOs, we're bringing the private sector, we're bringing also with us the government and the incubators. This is one. So this is also from the lessons learned that we need to bring them. You cannot do it alone. What we are trying now, we are trying to have the enabling environment for all partners to work together. Okay, this is the second. Now is what we are doing now. We don't want to do the innovation camp by ourselves. We want to train the trainer and to have this with the partners and just supporting the partners if they need us to do it by themselves. Because to have a multiplier effect, you cannot do it everything by yourself. You have to have it's not only one innovation hub. It's only based in Cairo. You need to have at least one or two social innovation hub. It could be UNDP, it could be other NGO can have it, other partners, could be through the CSR program of one of the companies, they do it in other areas. So what we are trying to help others to establish something like the innovation hub or whatever, anything is, if it's better than innovation hub, they can do it, but not by ourselves.
And for us as well, for the Challenge Fund winners and runners-up, they are going to be implementing the campaign along with UNDP and Ministry of Disaster Management and Relief. This is going to probably happen every year, where we also try to kind of have a youth assembly of all these winners and runners-up, and together we do something massive as you know, as the winners kind of count up. For the Digital Kitchery Challenge, which is also on Hackathon, currently Finalists Labs, the organization that we collaborated with along with Facebook and UNDP, they're giving a 6-month training to the winners and all of them. And the Ministry of ICT has also increased the funds for them as well. So they also have the chance to kind of collaborate with the Ministry of ICT as well. So this is kind of just a pathway to kind of get them into the conversation.
Sorry, we're trying to get some oxygen. I think we're all fainting. So we will now travel to Kosovo and hear about the Innovation Lab, the great work that Hana is leading on. And
I do not have a presentation.
That's fine.
No problem.
You can do the presentation.
I'll try to be very visible.
But it would be great also to hear about your experience with the UN Joint program. I mean, I think that we always try to promote interagency collaboration, and it would be fantastic to hear about your thoughts in particular on the UN Joint.
So, hi, I'm Hana, and I currently lead UNICEF's Innovation Lab in Kosovo. My discussion here is going to be based in two separate parts. I'll briefly talk about some of the initiatives that are going on at the Innovation Lab in Kosovo, and then I'll focus on our joint efforts within the UN agencies in Kosovo in building something together. So, before I continue to discuss some of the initiatives of the Innovation Lab in Kosovo that is currently under UNICEF, I just wanted to say that it's impressive how similar some of the initiatives that you guys are doing are with the initiatives that we are doing. And it just goes to say that our goal is similar, and it's an additional input, additional idea into working together, because our goal is ultimately youth engagement and youth development. And having these separate agencies work on practically the same things moving forward, it just diminishes the potential for synergy. But I'll discuss that during the joint program discussion as well. So the Innovation Lab in Kosovo, first of all, it has two key points. One of them is the by youth for youth concept. So what that means is that each and every one of the initiatives that are currently going on at the Innovation Lab are initiatives that have been built in partnership with youth. None of these things have come out of UNICEF people, have come out of UN agencies people, but they have rather come out of discussions with youth. We've sat together, we've discussed what are the things that they want to work on, what are the things that they lack in their communities and they want to see more of, and together with them, we've helped develop these initiatives from scratch. And now, some of these initiatives are being replicated in 16 countries. So these are the ideas that come out of youth, and because they know best what they need for themselves, and being partners with them in helping them develop is the way to go forward. So one of the initiatives, which is one of our practically flagship initiatives, is called Upshift, and it does more or less what my colleague from Egypt was talking about in terms of the social innovation camp. Its goal is practically developing the transferable professional skills among youth and social entrepreneurship, developing the sense of social entrepreneurship. And it does so through a very structured curriculum that has been developed across the years. It's been now 3-4 years that Upshift's curriculum has developed forward. Now it has a very structured curriculum that goes from idea, problem identification, through brainstorming phases, through prototyping, through sketching different solutions, all the way to the incubation phase where they get financial resources, they get different types of mentorship from experts in the field, and implementing their projects up until the point where they're social entrepreneurs and they have social businesses moving forward. Other ideas and other initiatives that we've been working on, which are relevant to the discussion here, is one on critical media literacy. So what we've been doing with youth in our discussions, continuous discussions, we've been seeing that the formal traditional education system does not instill in youth the critical thinking faculties that they need to be able to distinguish among the different types of quality information they see in Facebook, they see in different types of media portals and all. So the media that they're bombarded with, we're trying to teach them the skills to be able to distinguish what is the agenda behind that type of piece of information they're getting, what is the underlying meanings, what are the different types of things that the people that are pushing this information through you, what are they trying to do? It has been one of the initiatives that has stirred most interest in youth. In our latest edition, in tiny Kosovo of 1.6 million people, We've had, in one outreach, we've had at least 500 youth apply for a 30-slot training. So it's been, it has stirred a lot of discussion and a lot of interest. And then just for the purposes of the discussion, something was mentioned earlier on the ICT sector. We've been working on the ICT sector as well. It's one of our initiatives called Textitution. So together with adolescents and youth who are interested in the ICT sector and coding, what we've been trying to do is help them learn these coding skills, these software development skills, while at the same time helping institutions with their tools. As Kosovo is a developing country, there are a lot of gaps in terms of efficiency of service delivery, in terms of different types of aspects of the public sector. So what we've been doing is help them develop tools for public institutions by also developing their own portfolios, their own CVs, and their own coding skills. So these are 3 initiatives. We have a bunch of other initiatives. We've been working on volunteerism as well, on advocacy, on healthy behaviors. But this is a discussion to be had some other time because of time pressure. As I was saying earlier, it's impressive and striking the similarity of initiatives among the different agencies, what UNDP is doing, what we're doing in UNICEF, what UNFPA perhaps is doing. And it is sort of a shame to see all these initiatives go forward on their own without having the expertise of the different agencies. Every one of the UN agencies, although with similar mandate when it comes to youth, they have different types of expertise. Some do employment, direct employment, some do health, some do education, but ultimately the goal is developing the capacities of youth, engaging youth and empowering youth. So that should be done in synergy, that should be done in a joint effort. And what we've been trying to do in Kosovo is practically just that, develop a joint UN program. I was one of the co-authors of the joint youth engagement, youth empowerment program in Kosovo. The joint program has been developed between UNICEF, UNDP, UNFPA, WHO, and UNV in an attempt to have as much of a holistic and comprehensive program as possible. And again, just like with the initiatives that I previously mentioned, we've done it in an exclusively by youth for youth way. So what we've done is we've gone to some of the most remote areas of Kosovo, and we've included youth. We've put youth together with our staff, with NGO members, and with local private and public sector members, put together in round tables and started discussing what matters to youth. What do you want to see that you don't have today? What is it that your community lacks but you would like to do in your community? So in days and days and days and rounds of discussions that have gone on for months through collaborative design and through human-centered design, we've come up with some key areas where adolescents and youth in Kosovo want to see more work being done by the UN in general. And the 3 areas that have come up most are school-to-work transition, participatory education, and social cultural engagement. So under school-to-work transition, some of these ideas that my colleagues earlier from UNDP were